How's it going, everybody? How's it going? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Dollar Hour with your truly Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight, we got a great show planned for you guys. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the question, are you in business or are you just hustling? And the reason why I wanted to do the show tonight in regards to are you in business or are you just hustling? Because everyone knows I'm an accountant by profession. I'm also a business consultant. And with the new stimulus package that has came out and with a new round of funding, with that's been given out to small businesses with the PPP loans, the auto grants, and the SVOG, even all the new vending products that are out there. People have been flooding me with questions and trying to get these different loans, seeing they qualify for different things, and nobody got their stuff together. No, when I say nobody, I don't probably stretching it, but a lot of people don't have their stuff together because they actually have been, quote unquote, in business, but they really ain't been in business. So I want to have a discussion tonight. Really, are you in business or are you just hustling? Because we're going to discuss what I view as a true business owner, and then we're going to get everybody else's perspective in what's going on and what I'm seeing in regards to what people are lacking in regards to being a true business owner. What I mean by true business owner, not necessarily are they doing the task and receiving, revenue for that task or that product, more so being in compliance for the simple fact that if you want to expand or do certain things, you have the proper system and infrastructure set up in place. So if that certain things happen or certain things happen or opportunities happen, you can take advantage of it because your system and infrastructure is in place. A lot of people just are making money. They don't have those systems and infrastructure set in place. And we're going to discuss all those tonight. Again, this is the Dollar Hour hosted by your truly Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. We'll be discussing, are you in business or you just hustling? Okay. Before we get started, if you guys notice, I'm at the home studio today. I'm not at my normal home, which is Misfits Radio, Misfits Media Group. Just out of this week. I'll be back next week. I want to give a big shout out to my awesome producers, DJ Lab and Slick 316. Hey, how y'all guys doing? Miss you guys. We start each show. We kind of rehash the previous week. We are still in the middle of the pandemic. Make sure you guys are being safe, practicing social distancing, all the stuff you learned in elementary school in regards to, wash your hands, staying 6 feet apart, and all that good stuff. Cover your mouth when you sneeze and cough. Again, I am an accountant by profession. My company I own is Majestic Business Services. We've been in business 20 years. Pretty much we're one-stop shop, small businesses. We do tax prep, payroll, business consulting, pretty much anything that you would need for a small business we provide. And we're in the middle of tax season right now, so feel free to book an appointment. I got all the contact information from the website, the phone number. Give us a call. We're at the web at www.majesticbiz.com. The office number is 678-479-4007. And again, all links are at below each video, so just feel free to reach out to us. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So make sure while you're in, just feel free to leave comments. You got any questions about anything in regards to that. But again, tonight's show we're discussing, are you in business or you just hustling? And what had me thinking about this subject, let me take a little coffee break. What had me thinking about this subject is, again, when right now with the stimulus package, I'm getting all kind of calls, and I want you guys to reach out to me because, again, I always tell people, If you have any questions that are business related, it makes sense to give me a call. I got the YouTube channel giving you guys free information. I'm here. People know that I'm accessible and everything. I got all my contact information, phone number to the office. So feel free to call. But I get a lot of people reaching out to me. Hey, Deonte, for me to get a PPP loan, they saying I need a Schedule C. They saying I need a 941. I need a business bank account and all this kind of stuff. And they're just reeling this stuff out. They have no clue what it is, which in a lot of cases is understandable. Because, again, if you're actually providing a particular product or services, you're not an accountant. So some things you just wouldn't know. I get that part. The problem comes up is that it's not an issue of you not knowing, it's the issue of you not having, you haven't even been concerned with it. And the reason why you haven't been concerned with it, you're not necessarily a legitimate business. I'm going to start this off and to be very, very blunt, be very honest with people. Just because you have a LLC and a tax ID number, that does not make you a business. Okay, just so we got that. What that means is that you own an LLC and a tax ID number. That's it. And you got people that are going crazy applying for these loans because they, it is accessible. People have been applying, people are getting all kind of money, and you need to check that out. The video I got on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, while talking about fraud and everything with the SBA. Remember, guys, you are dealing with the federal government. You're applying for these particular loans, putting information on there. Everything's traceable. The SBA, IRS, all of them, keep in mind, they always function on a maybe a year or two delay. So they're not going to give you a call this year. They may not call you next year, but they're going to give you a call. And that's for certain documentation. If you're not, able to provide it, what's going to happen to you. So again, I just want people to get that, in their head first before we start even the discussion. Just because you got an LLC and you got a tax ID number, that doesn't necessarily make you a business. But here's the deal. You have a lot of people out here that don't have an LLC, don't have a tax ID number, are making money, right? They're out here just doing well, making money, okay? But here's the deal. What you got to understand, there's a difference between the girl that does hair and a beautician. There's a difference between the guy that cuts grass and the actual landscaping company. There's a difference between the tree man and Averys. Guys, and it's called certifications. And I just want you guys to understand that a lot of us, I've been there myself. There's no shortage of it's not a person being lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to get things set in place. It could be they just don't know. They don't value getting certain certifications, certain documentations, but for whatever reason, they're just not doing it. And what I want to have that discussion because, again, I've got all these people calling and everything asking, why can I get this loan? Why can't I acquire these particular things? And a lot of them out here getting money and they're hustling, but they're not legitimate business. I see, Bro, a business is a business. It's not a big difference. What do you mean by a business is a business, not a big difference? I don't understand that one. But I mean, if you're saying it's a difference between business and hustling, I would just get this quick example definition for myself. Hustling is an action, and again, you can sit here and just be out here just being busy. You can be out here selling, products and gift baskets. You can be selling CDs, whatever, and just hustling. Selling it and doing it. You can be out here just cutting yards and just hustling and getting the money. But we actually a business, and you got that infrastructure. And I mean, by infrastructure, that means the whole system of just like you have the frame of a house set up. That frame of that house is set up so no matter what happens, element wise, you may have a tornado or something, or flood or something, wipe something out. But for the most part, if the infrastructure or the system or the skeleton is there, nothing really can knock it over. So if you have everything set up, now you can acquire loans, you can acquire grants, you can get certain contracts because you have everything set up. But if you just out here hustling and you don't have the proper things set in place, you're gonna get frustrated. So it's that's the thing that's gonna always come back and knock you back. Say it's pretty much the same thing. Well, it's not necessarily the same thing. When I say we're talking about having a legitimate business set up, because that's what's going on right now. I'm getting all the phone calls and everybody responding to the different videos and they're asking, hey, what's going on? And I got people responding, send me questions in regards to why I can't get approved for this loan. The IRS the SBA just told me I need these documents. Again, if the infrastructure and the system was in place, that's the reason why you don't have it. And this is not I'm not having this show in regards to demeaning anybody, telling you, hey, you don't have this, so you're not a business. It's not that. The thing of it is, so we can just share information and have this conversation in regards to, so the next time, if you are in a situation where you quote unquote hustling, you start getting everything in place so you can be legitimate and you can be acquiring and getting these particular opportunities, being these contracts, these loans, these grants and stuff. So that's why we have, and that's the whole premise of Mr. Short Dollar, to help people, not necessarily talk, devalue or talk about people, okay? Because that's why we got over 200 videos. Mr. Short Dollar, we would talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, business, and real estate investing. I got all those videos out there to help people grow, to help people expand and everything. So but again, that's one of the biggest things that's been hitting me for the past 2 months in regards to people trying to get these PPP loans, get these EIDL loans, and it's the same thing that was happening back in the spring when people trying to do the same thing. But now, again, what's happening, people just can't get them because same thing, they don't have the proper infrastructure in place. And that's why I kind of want to, have this conversation, because I do a lot of research in regards to a lot of the different Facebook groups and different other professional groups that I'm in, and people kind of, ask questions a lot about, what do you guys know about getting this loan? And I actually have probably about 5 or 6 videos on YouTube talking about acquiring loans and actual different grants. And it's still the same thing. The system is not together for your business, right? People a lot of times don't necessarily value not having the system in place. And it's not an issue of, I think everybody, quote unquote, wants to make money. Okay. Now you got some people say, okay, I just like doing it for the love. I don't want to do it for the money. But I think for the most part, everybody's out here to make money. Now, again, when we start going to the realm of business, that's where things kind of change. Because I think psychologically, I don't necessarily know if most people in business want to be in business, because as a whole, when you actually got a business running and you're making money, it's a stress level and some anxiety and all these other things that come into it that you don't have to incur to be in business. So a lot of times, the question I always ask new clients when they come to us about business development, getting business started, do you really want a business, or do you want your job that's gonna pay you more money? And most of the times is that they want a job that's gonna pay them more money. They don't necessarily want the business. They'd be cool with having the freedom of, I don't want to have to go check in. I don't have to answer nobody. Cool. But along with that freedom comes the non-security that job provides you, where you may not necessarily, you did a task now, you may not get paid for another 2 or 3 weeks. And I think that's one of the things that most people, when they want to get into business, start entrepreneurship, they don't necessarily think about. Got a question here. You need simple things, bro, to get loans, grants, settled for your business. Yeah, it's simple things, but a lot of times, because some things aren't so simple. This is a one war god. Sorry if I mispronounced it, brother, but he's saying you need the simple things to get your business started. Let me make sure I'm bringing people in also when they put their questions in. You're right about that. I just think it's not an issue. I don't think people want to do it. I think sometimes it just comes down to, they don't know, but it may be sometimes they don't necessarily want to do it either. I have Miss Jackson. What are the most important components to get your business infrastructure right? The most important thing to get your business infrastructure right is Google and YouTube University. Most of the information that you can get is free, and that's just doing basic, research and everything. I would always recommend that you try to get some kind of professional to help you on your journey with that. Here's the drawback of getting a professional. A lot of us don't necessarily want to pay for it. Now, I say this, and I have this conversation with people a lot. People always say, well, why would you pay for somebody to do your LLC when you can do it for free? Why would you, pay an attorney to do a contract for you? Because you can go on Google and get a contract. And that's absolutely right. But you also gonna have something that's full of loopholes. I mean, it's a reason why people go to law school, right? You can go to WebMD and put in every symptom you got. But once you put it in, they're gonna be 5 or 6 diagnoses. You got your stomach's hurting, but it may come from an ear infection. It may come from, something wrong with your toe. It may be something with your heart, maybe something with your eye. You just don't know. And a lot of times when you can get with a professional, they can run off certain scenarios that you don't know because they have an experienced eye and they've done certain things that you haven't experienced. Because again, when you go on Google, when you go on YouTube, uh, you're going to get the basic information. That's correct. But you're not going to get experience information. And that's what you need when you're going into business, because a lot of times uh, if you don't actually put yourself in the right situation because you don't necessarily experience, you can actually have the right infrastructure, but if it's not right for you, because everybody have different kind of businesses, it didn't make sense have different the same business, right? But they go into it with different scenarios. Now, one person is married, one person doesn't have kids, one person has a lot of credit, one person has a lot of money. They may not necessarily need to go on the same path. So when you meet with a professional, say it's an attorney, say it's an accountant, um, those people can kind of help you and ask you certain questions to kind of get you on the right framework. And you also got to ask yourself what level you want to keep it at too. And this is very important. There's nothing wrong with the quote unquote hustle. Hey, I'm comfortable with my lifestyle. I'm comfortable. I have a job. There's just some supplemental income. I don't necessarily want to be, have this be a full-time takeover. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. What I will say to you is that regardless of what path you want to go about it, you need to make sure that you got everything, the channels in place to be able to do it at whatever level. And just being honest with yourself with that. And that's one thing, because everybody doesn't necessarily want to be self-employed business owner. If you want to keep it at a certain level just to make a little money here and there, just certain holidays at Christmas time, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But kind of be honest with yourself in regards to that, because what I want to just bring up, in regards to what we're having our discussion tonight, where we're talking about, are you in business or are you just hustling? How many people are really now finding out, because they have a quote unquote, like I say, an LLC, a S Corp, C Corp, they got a tax ID number, but now they finding out that all these things are being asked, and these are like common things a business should have. A bank account with your business name on it, not, you're such and such Express Landscaping, but they cutting the check to Mr. Charlie. That's commingling. That's not going to the business. And a lot of people are finding out right now they have a quote unquote business license and all these other things set up, but they haven't been operating like a business. And it's happening to too many people in regards to trying to go next level with their business. And that's why I want to have that discussion tonight. Again, this is the Dollar Hour, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight we're discussing, are you in business or are you hustling? Make sure you check out Mr. Short Dollar on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure when you go to the YouTube channel, you subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Facebook page. We got a lot of videos, got over 200 videos right now where we talk about personal finance, business, and entrepreneurship. A couple things I want to kind of address when we start. I'm just go over a couple questions that some people have called me with in regards to the missed opportunities. Let me check in here and make sure, guys, if you guys got any questions, feel free to chime in. One more, guys, that don't need an LLC to have a legit business. No, you don't need an LLC, right? You don't need to have an LLC to have a legit business, but you need to have some kind of shield to protect you personally, to keep certain liabilities away. You can be a straight sole proprietor and operating business, that's fine, but you still don't have anything set up to protect you. And to be totally honest with you, depending on what kind of opportunity you have, if you don't have some kind of corporate veil set up, some opportunities you just can't get. You won't be able to get certain contracts. You won't be able to get certain opportunities if you don't have that set up in place. And that's when we start talking about what's the next level. So what's your business, making the business legit? Okay, we'll go into there as far as making the business legit. But that's pretty much what we talk about tonight in tonight's show. Are you in business or just hustling? A lot of the questions that have came to me in regards to missed opportunities, when people have tried to apply for certain business loans and they went and they've been doing this particular task for years. They had a salon going for years, and they actually can show that they've had revenues, they've had operations going, and the infrastructure wasn't there. And so you actually, now again, we're talking about when you try to go to a certain level, a next level. Now, this is not to kind of talk about anybody's business, but when you start talking about acquiring, now we're not talking about these the EIDL loans or the PPP loans. You're getting a legit SBA loan over 6 figures. I've acquired all these loans. That's why I can just tell you from personal experience, you're going to go through a whole different level of scrutiny. You're going to go through a whole different level of scrutiny. I understand that there are people out here with no license, they're not incorporated, and they're making well over $100,000. But again, when stuff hit the fans and they need to get funding or something happens, they are not protected. You know, they are, a lot of things aren't in place for them to be able to do that. Okay. And again, if they want to keep it that way, I'm not here to be scolding you in regards to how you should be doing it, this or that, you know, this or that, it was the right way to do it. There is a legitimate way. You need to have a proper way to have your business structured. But again, you will miss out on a lot of opportunities if you don't have your business set up and structured in the right way. But you have to be, you know, realistic about where you want to go with it. Maybe one question: everybody don't need to go higher up. We already said that in regards to everybody. One word, God. I think I said about 5 minutes ago. It's not for everybody. If you want to do that, great. If not, and I just said that about 5 minutes ago. Now back to what we were talking about in regards to, you know, the actual setbacks that a lot of people have incurred. You know, when you don't have your business set up in a certain way, we're talking about just having a corporate veil, having actually the bank accounts, having, you know, your DUNS numbers, having, you know, different things as far as just having your a website that's connected to certain payment processing, marketing systems and everything set in place. Your business may just have some kind of stagnant growth. You may just get to a certain point and that's it. And so what the brother points, you just said a while ago, you know, everybody doesn't want to have to go higher. That's fine. But again, we're not talking about you. Again, if you just want to make a little extra money on the side and you just want to just make a little money doing this on the holidays, if you just want to, you know, just keep a little extra cash in your pocket, that's great. This discussion is not for you. This discussion is for the people that have been reaching out to me. Deonte, I can't get this PPP loan. Deonte, I can't get this EIDL loan. Deonte, we cannot get these grants that the government is offering. This conversation is for you. So that, let me preference that, because we're asking the question, are you in business or are you just hustling? Because you have a lot of these people that have been making money, but they don't see that. They don't see, you know, that, you know, why they're not getting certain opportunities. Now, again, if you talk to anyone that has, you know, been next level of their business, again, we're talking about you've had government contracts, you've been able to acquire, you know, loans over 100,000. Again, I'm not talking about a PPP or EIDL loan. I'm talking about just straight business loans. You've been able to do that. You've been able to acquire certain grants and everything that have been government funded. You understand that there's a certain level of information, a certain amount of information they want to be able to see. And that's why I want to kind of have this discussion, because far too many of us right now, people are right now starting businesses because they look, hey, I want to get this grant, I want to get this loan, or because they've been doing a certain thing for a certain amount, but they can't do it. And that's when that little moment of truth, hey, you don't have this set up. Where's your payroll information? And they can't get it. Okay. And what people have to understand, it's not what you want to give or what you think you want to give. It's about the people that's going to fund you what they want to see. And you got to get past that. Well, I've been in business. I've done this. I've done. That's fine. But what they want to see is what they want to see. If they're going to give you fund your business, okay? And that's why I just talk about the missed opportunities. A lot of times, people, if they don't have things set up, you know, you're not necessarily going to be in a situation where you can have a business that even lasts over a year because you haven't done enough to acquire, you know, any business growth. Normally, you see people when they start their business up, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, just the basic way people do it. You know, people start a business up, that post on Facebook, you know, come by this and come by that, you know, just normal support. And you're going to grow. You're going to get your people that know you. If they're interested in it, they're going to buy your product or they're going to use your service. Great. But at the end of the day, if they're not in need of it or they don't want it, so where's your growth going to come from? And see, now everything changes. Because again, you're sitting there, people, I've seen it too often. People don't want to support me. People don't want to buy what I'm offering. People don't want to pay the prices that I want to pay. That's fine. That's fine. You have to come to grips that look, you're actually offering your product, your service to the wrong people. People just because people know you don't mean they're gonna support you. Just because people know you don't mean that they value what you're doing. You know, I had the video in regard about a month ago, wasn't that long ago, about a guy called me and he's it's been tax season. He called and said, hey guy, hey, what do you guys charge? For taxes. I gave him the price where we started, basic price, and he hung up the phone. And that happens all the time. What we charge. And the video was not about people not want to pay for the service. The video would just give people something to think about, that if you're going to actually turn around and give somebody all your private information, your social security number, your bank account, your kid's social security number, your address, all that information, do you want the cheapest person you can find? Because the cheapest person you can find, they are not going to be able to protect you. If I'm the cheapest person and I'm charging pros for my service, I'm not going to be invested in all these security systems to protect these people's social security information, to protect their bank account information, because it's expensive, right? But people don't think about that, and that's why you had a lot of people back in, April, when they first started getting out the stimulus checks, they were tearing down all the little rinky-dink tax places because they got my money. They have this. You dealing with the cheapest person you could find. You weren't dealing with an actual legit person that might have charged you a little bit more money, but they weren't charging a little money because they were just trying to get over. They were charging because they had to meet their cost to give you the service. And that's why we start talking about just being in business. There's a cost that you're going to acquire as a business person to be able to provide a service, to be able to provide a product. If you're going to sell a gift basket, it may cost you $5 to make a gift basket. So you have to charge upwards of that to make somewhat of a profit. And that's not factoring in gas, postage, or anything like that. Just say you have to do that, or any kind of marketing or advertising you got to do. So you got to charge a price that can kind of cover your fixed costs and no variable costs that are going to come along with it. And that's the kind of thing that I think a lot of people don't understand when they go into business. Just being able to find the people that want to get your product, not necessarily being stagnant in terms of, hey, I'm a lawn guy, or hey, I'm a painter. That's fine. What kind of painter are you? Are you a discount painter? You're a premium painter? You're a residential painter? You're a commercial painter? What do you do? And those kind of things come up. Now you just turn around and say, I can do it all. That's fine. But when you turn around and say, market your service as a person that can do it all, the problem with being able to do it all, it's just like you got a bow and arrow and you're shooting in a forest and you don't have a target. And that's how a lot of people are. They want to, end all be all. They don't have an actual target market or anything like that. And I might be talking kind of foreign to some people, but and to that point, that's why a lot of times people need to start investing in certain groups, or finding out certain information about what they should or shouldn't, where they should and shouldn't be going through everything with their business. Because again, you can spend some time as a business person really just marketing, pushing your stuff to the wrong people. You don't have to be you can be a car painter, and you have the Mako brand. I think the Peach, they're niched in as the cheap painting people. That's what they do, and they'll do it all day and night. They're gonna give you 2-3 sprays of color, couple of sprays of clear, and that's it. Charge you $300-400, right? And it's gonna look okay for $300 or $400. And then you got some places that charge upwards of that, and that's their niche. And you just got to figure out where you want to fall into place with all that. Okay. But a lot of times people, they just want to just make money. And you got to understand, be honest with yourself. Do I want to be the make money person, or do I want to be this person that's actually this business owner? Because I get people call me, look, I got this business going, got that business going. I want to have a conglomerate and a rainbow. I'm like, whoa, pump your brakes. Look, we only have the system and infrastructure set up for one. And you talking about making this conglomerate and stuff, because I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I know it ain't cool. Everybody want to be a business owner. Nobody want to be regular. And there's nothing wrong with aspiring to be great and doing things. Nothing wrong with that. But again, it's a proper way of doing it. Okay. You're going to have to go through a lot of stuff. You're going to have to pay some dues. You're going to get some scars. And you're not just going to be this millionaire overnight. And I know from an optic standpoint, everybody wants to look successful and everybody wants to look great. But I just remember even my personal journey. I've been in business 20 years. Them first 5 or 6 years, I felt like I was doing the chitlin circuit. I was really doing some stuff that, just like, man, and it was, going to this place, going to the radio station, doing a tax show for free, going to different places for free, going to all these different places, giving out information and stuff. But I looked at it like, I'm just grinding, trying to get my face out there, get my name out there, get the business out there. And that's all I was doing, just getting out there planting seeds. But if your mindset is, I got to make money every time you do something, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I think that's where that big split comes in, and being, okay, I'm this actual person in business. I'm this actual person that's hustling. We can, get in our feelings and say, hey, well, I'm a business person, and, you don't tell me because I don't have this stuff set up. I'm not a business person or anything like that. I get it. I'm not here to hurl no insults. I'm here for a person that's been in business 20 years, a person that's, been in corporate America almost 20 years. And, I charge, I start charging, up to $200 an hour just for my consulting appointments. I kind of know what I'm talking. I don't know everything, but I kind of know what I'm talking about. And I always try to get people to understand that when you want to be a true business person, or just grow your business, one of the first things you got to do is get out of the defense posture. You have to get out of defense posture and be able to be receptive to information and criticism that you don't necessarily like. And I think once you can kind of get into that mode to understand that people giving you some advice or game that's to benefit you, I think that's when you can go kind of next level with a lot of information. Again, this is the Dollar Hour, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight we're talking about, are you in business or are you just hustling? Make sure you go to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to the channel on Facebook, YouTube, and also Instagram. Let's see if I have new questions on here. And my brother One War God, he's chiming in. Anybody else? If you see us on any other platforms, feel free to chime in with any questions or anything, guys. And like I said, on all the videos, I have all the contact information. And I got a different thing streaming for the different businesses and the shows that we have for everything. 1 second, get one thing straightened out right quick. Okay. Now this next phase of information I kind of want to go over rather is in regards to going to the next level, to be that business person. And because we just went over a lot of the pitfalls people are missing out on because they don't have certain things set in place. And I just remember a phone call I had the other day. And a guy called me, and he was asking us about, we have a basic bookkeeping and payroll package that we offer to small businesses, like $250 a month. And brother called me, and he had a business, decent business, I think, production. And you only have maybe like 1 or 2 employees, but the package was perfect for his business. But the conversation was about him telling me, Deonte, I can't justify paying you this with the amount of business I got going on. And like I told him from the get-go, I'm not in the justifying business. I'm in the accounting business. And I was not going to have a conversation with him. I will always say, exactly, these are the services we provide. This is what we're going to do for you. We're going to take care of you. This is what we're doing. You feel free to do your price market research and prices and everything. But this is the reason we've been in business 20 years. It's the reason why we have all these 5-star ratings on Google and everything. People can check us out. But I was not finna sit here and waver and have a discussion on or justify why I charge what I charge. And I say all that to say that a lot of times people, when they're in business or potentially want to be in business, they don't want to find value in other things outside of what they do. When you want to try to do everything, and my uncle, he's been one of my business mentors my whole life. He told me very early in business when I got started was, you only got 2 arms and 2 legs. If you try to be the person that's trying to keep all the money and make all the money, you're only going to go so far. right? You can only do what you're doing. Until you get out there and got people doing things for you, you're always going to be limited. Again, let me preference it to say, if you're not trying to grow, if you're not trying to do this, this conversation not for you. Okay. But when you're trying to go next level, you're trying to get these loans, you're trying to get these grants, you're trying to get these government contracts, because they are out there. They are out there. I'm telling you right now, with this stimulus, it's not even just the stimulus package they're giving out. They're giving out opportunities for businesses. The federal government is also giving money to local, state, and local governments. So you don't just have your particular state got grants and contracts for you. Your county and your city do too. And at the end of the day, if you're not in proper position, you're not structured right to take the opportunity, you're just not going to get it. You just won't get it. Like I said, you can be a certain. I see people all the time with these cleaning companies and everything set up. Got it. And they're doing okay. They're going to clean the houses. They may have did this and they're advertising. It's great, but that's game changing. If you can go get a county government contract, you're only doing 1 or 2 buildings for $200,000 a year. Come on now, you can partner with another cleaning company and get that. Well, if you guys got your stuff together, everything's in compliance, and you're able to acquire those kind of contracts. And you got so many people missing out on these opportunities, and they spend so much time, I guess, trying to argue and be disgruntled why saying people won't give them certain opportunities or give them certain grants, but they never want to spend the time or the money to get legitimized. I always tell my clients, and it's just one of the dollar rules: get access to capital when you don't need it. When you don't need the money, when you don't need, you got enough equipment, you're making money, you're fine. Go get your line of credit. You ain't got to use it, but you got it. You don't wait till you need some money and then go try to, borrow some money so you can go buy some more mowers or buy some more cleaning equipment. You get access to capital when you don't need it. That's how a true business owner gonna think, because you got this opportunity to get there. Like I said, this $100,000 contract, and you don't have enough mop buckets, you don't have enough vacuum packs or whatever to go do it, and now you're going crazy. I can't even get it. Well, I got the contract, now we can't even fund it because we're not going to get paid for another 60 days on this contract. You got to do this kind of stuff. What's going to help you with doing this kind of because we just talked about value and just learning certain things and finding value in other people. You got to try to get yourself in certain groups. You got to try to get yourself in a situation where we just talked about, where you're going to get some good constructive criticism. And a lot of times people see, you go on social media, you see your friends posting pictures about, they got the money, they got the car, they on the trips and everything, everybody looking good. The lady got her husband, the guy got his wife, everybody's cool. They got a picture of the car, their house and everything. You're like, wow, they doing great. And nothing wrong with that. The issue comes up is that they're a lot of times caught where it's a situation where they're the king of the jungle. You got all these people sitting there going to them and they doing this and they feel good about it. They feel good about it. Now you're like, man, people going to it, people love me and everything. But now when certain things happen, they can only go so far with it. Now it's a comfortability that people have being the smartest person in the room. It's a comfort level that people have being the richest person in the room. Now, when you got to be a king among kings or a queen among queens, now you're kind of uncomfortable, because when you ever, you be in a kind of situation where a person, they got the most money or the most items, they can always talk to people. Well, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. But keep in mind, they do know the most in that particular circle. But when they got to get in a circle where everybody got what they have and more, now it's uncomfortable. But see, that's one of the situations that you're going to grow as a business person, because not that you got to feel so bad to have your ego set on you just being comfortable, you being the richest or the smartest. Now you can actually get people that's that think like you, that have had experiences that you have had or haven't had, and they've handled things differently. Because the person can tell you then, well, look, man, I encountered the same thing, but this is how I handled it. Well, I lost money doing that. It may work for you, but this is what I did, and this is why it happened. Now you can have them kind of conversation. And it's not just the one-way conversations anymore. Because a lot of times people just don't want to be vulnerable like that. They like being, the super successful person. But that growth is going to be limited. It's kind of like with track. I ran track my whole life, and I coached park and rec track for 12 years. And I remember, you always know that the fastest kid never really gets faster. It's the kids that's chasing him, they get faster. And if you're always in a situation where you're always the top dog, the top queen in any situation, you're only going to go so far. That's why people try to say, expand your circle. But people say that, but they don't really want to do that. Because again, you got to get uncomfortable, because when you get, it's a confidence you get for working hard and making achievements. And then when you don't, and now you're in a situation where you got to kind of humble yourself and ask questions, and you can somewhat feel dumb because you realize, man, it's a lot I really don't know. And now you got to sit here and just say, man, can you tell me this or ask this question? And everybody is not willing to be that humble, to let their guard down and ask questions, especially when they've been in a situation where they've been the big dog, right? But that's what we're talking about, just being vulnerable and being that type of person to kind of understand that. But we start talking about you in business or you hustling, you got to get out there hustle mentality. Now, hustle, I've been a hustler my whole life. And now when I say that, I go get it. I mean, anybody knows me, I go get it. I go get the money. I go get it. I've had probably about 20 different businesses and started, stopped it, lost it, sold it, whatever. And, anybody knows me, since I was a kid, I always been like a tireless worker. But there was a point in my life in my late 20s where I changed and became a true business person. But there was still those hustle principles that get up and go do things that stayed with me. But I understand, I learned, because what happened was I was just like that hamster in that wheel. I was just going in circles. I was making money, but I was losing money. I wasn't going so far. And I'm trying to sit here and look at people that were actually growing. What are they doing that I ain't doing? And I had to just kind of get out of some of my ways for me to go next level in my growth. Okay. And again, we were just talking about just actually trying to put yourself in a situation where you're learning from people, being vulnerable, being uncomfortable, growing. Another thing that people have to do when we start talking about getting out just straight hustling, going into business, understand the whole concept of delayed gratification. Okay, this is very unique. A person can sit here and have a business. Let's just say you got let's stay with a cleaning company, right? You got a cleaning company making $1,000 a month, right? And you're like, look, I don't want to clean. I got this contract. I got the capacity. I had all the qualification to do it. And they'll try to get out there and they're not, efficient with sweeping and mopping and dusting or picking up anything. And they'll try to do it themselves. And you have another person that, and when they're doing it themselves, it's taking them all day and night. And the finished product looks like they did it. You got another person that gets the contract, $5,000 a month. But he's going to pay somebody $3,500 a month. Look, I'm going to give you this contract. Now I want you to just take care of this, and everything. And then $1,500 a month. Now, this is where the rubber meets road, because a lot of people, like, why in the hell would I pay you $3,500 out of my contract? They don't want to even be thinking. They don't even want to just even embrace the whole idea that I'm making this, $5,000. I got to give you most of the money. No. Because what happens is, if I got the $1,500 a month coming in for doing what? Breathing. I can do what? I can get about 5 or 6 more of those. But if I'm making $5,000, where I'm tied up the whole time, I can only make that. But if I got 5 of those and I'm there, then what's that? 7,500, right? That's 7,500 a month for breathing. I'm not doing any cleaning or anything. Look what I'm able to do. Now we're scaling up. Now we're thinking. Well, you turn around and sit here and say that, look, I'm going to make a capital investment of a certain particular piece of equipment. I'm going to invest in certain certifications that I might not necessarily be able to take advantage of for a year from now, or this equipment that we're going to, I'm paying all this money for this equipment now, but in the long haul, it'll just save me a lot of money. I'll do that. And then we're talking about delayed gratification, doing something now that you're not necessarily getting immediate returns for, but you're benefiting and getting a bigger return in the grand scheme of things. I was just looking at the guys that deliver the sanitation workers, and they have the trucks now that pull up, grab, and dump, and put it in, or whatever. And me just being ignorant to it, I went to ask the guy. I just always talk to everybody that I pass by, because I'm always being curious about operations and systems. I'm just a nerd about that. And I asked the guy. I said, "Ask you a question. I mean, how much longer do it take you now with just you in the truck by yourself? You ain't got two people, because I always grew up with the trash guy. The guy drove the truck, probably got two guys hanging on the back, and maybe a guy on the passenger side. So you might have one guy driving, three people hitting the streets, picking up the trash cans and dumping it. And he's just by himself with the machine. And I asked him, I said, man, how? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, man, this got to be a harder job for him doing it by himself. And he told me that he was able to, a neighborhood that may take him 3 hours, he was able to knock it out in an hour. I was like, huh? And I couldn't even believe it. He said, yeah, I'll just go up and grab it. And what stuck with me was it hit me then. They actually, you see these companies that made this big capital investment to buy this truck with its arm to grab. And what they did in the grand scheme of things, they actually cut off 2 or 3 people of payroll where they had to worry about payroll, insurance, and we talk about life, health, whatever, vacation, attitudes, bathroom breaks, PTO. They was able to eliminate all of that with just one big capital investment. It's kind of just like also, with the airlines when they did the it's probably late 90s when they did all the kiosks where you just go to the airport, you see all those people working the ticketing and check-in, ticketing and check-in at the airports, and you see all that. They didn't have a kiosk, and then when they got all those kiosks, everybody like, what is this? What's going on? And they was able to cut, it was more than half what they was able to cut the payroll down of the people that were doing the ticket counters at the airport, the check-ins, because now you can go, get your little ticket, just drop your bag off. That's why we started talking about delayed gratification and just making those kind of upfront painful costs or painful decisions that can kind of benefit you in the long run. Okay, we're talking about going next level with your business. We're talking about growing as a business person. There's certain things you got to do, a certain way you got to think. Okay, it's kind of like when you sit there and you look at just sometimes somebody might be selling drugs or something like that, and you see same mentality kind of with the fix and flip. If they can't get what they want right then and there, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. A person that might be selling drugs, they want their money then. They want to flip it, buy this, flip this, and now they got this. Now they got that, they can flip it and get that. And you're hustling, you're making money, okay? You're making it. But what happens is, in the grand scheme of things, when something happens, they got to slow down, it's very difficult for them. Same thing when you look at the shows. That's why so many people are intrigued with the fix and flip real estate shows, because you got so many people that are actually, making this it looks like a little cheap investment, but if you actually been in real estate investing, you understand that actually those kind of things don't happen like that. It's not an issue if something happens, it's when something happens. And you thinking that you can buy a piece of property and flip it in 30 days, you're out of your mind. I ain't thinking if you're going to even get somebody from code enforcement out there to even check it out in 30 days. But I say all that, it's just that mentality. They buy it, they want their return right then and there. And it's hard for a lot of people to get that. When you start talking about now, you actually got to share money or pay a person more money than you're going to bring home. You're talking about now you actually got to put money up for something, and you might not see the returns to 6 months to a year. I mean, having a tax business, I started putting out money in mid-October between advertising, training, software, and everything. We started doing that. The IRS is not going to accept tax returns until February 12, 2021. February 12, 2021. You have no idea how much money I've been spending since October of 2020 up to now in promoting and training and software and all different kind of costs. And I'm not going to get $1 until February 12, 2021. You got to be wired a certain way to get that. Okay, but that's business. That's business. We start looking at certain business where we just say the commercial cleaning or landscape, so we start going next level. Some of these government contracts you're looking at now, like what do they do? What we call net 30, net 45, net 60 days. And I mean by that, you understand that you're not going to get paid for a month and a half, or 2 months. So you're talking about a person the work you did in the month of January, you're not going to get it to possibly mid-February or the end of March. How can you stay in business? So you got to kind of understand how operations goes, how to stay funded to stay in business, do that that kind of work. Why? Because the people that work for you, they can care less when you get paid. They can care less. They just know they did the work and they want to get paid for it at the proper time that you told them you're going to pay them. But as a business owner, these are the kind of things you got to think about. You can't tell somebody, well, I didn't get paid, so when I get paid, I'm going to pay you. No, because now what happens? Now they actually walking off your job. They might damage your equipment. They might do something to help you, to assist you in losing your contract. You got to have all these kind of systems set up. Okay, so that's what we're talking about again. Are you in business? Are you hustling? Your mindset has to shift when you're going to being a business owner. Okay, remember what we said at the precursor at the beginning of the show. Everybody does not have to be a CEO. Everybody does not have to be, this executive or anything like that. There's nothing wrong. If you just want to make some little money on the side, we're doing it. That's fine. Okay, and I'm definitely, as a person been in business 20 years and a person that does straight business consulting, I'm not going to tell you something is wrong with that. But when you say, okay, I want to go next level, I want to acquire certain contracts, I want to be able to get certain loans, I want to be able to do certain things, you're going to have to make sure some things are in place. Okay, because it's a totally different thing when you want to go to a bank and now you want to apply for a business loan and now your name is on all these stacks of application, as opposed to you go in, hey, man, it's Gary from the landscape company. You call Jack down at the bank. Hey, listen, I just got this contract. Listen, man, I need $30,000 this line of credit to get this equipment. Oh, man, you good to go. It happens all the time. If you're a true business owner, you're doing what? You cultivate no relationships when you don't need the money. You do that when you get, like I said, get access to capital when you don't need it. The last thing you want to do is get an opportunity to make it a life-changing experience, get a life-changing contract, and you can't do it because you can't get enough money to get the equipment. You ain't got enough money to hire the new people. You don't have enough money to sustain the payroll while the contracts ain't came. But if you are constantly preparing yourself, you preparing. So when the opportunity comes, you're ready for it. That's what you need to be. And a lot of times people don't necessarily want to do that because the cost they may incur, the time they may incur, the difficulty, again, with the honest criticism, they get that. Please forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Esperanza Salazar. You're right. We do offer business consultation. I got all my links below in the videos. So, you can, I got free 10-minute appointments that you can call as a quick question. But I also had the consulting links if you want to book an appointment for consulting. Everything is there, on the videos in the description section of the video. So feel free to hit me up. I also got a number to the office. So if you want to call, tomorrow, anything like that, just give me a buzz from there. But we'll definitely be able to take care of it. But all the contact information from all my website, all my social media, if you want to book an appointment, everything is in the description section of the video. And I appreciate you reaching out asking about that. The next thing I want to kind of go over is just having a proper documentation. And this is probably what's hurting a lot of people right now. What's going on with the SBA, the PPP, these EIDL loans, all these grants is coming up, even these contracts. Again, this is the dialogue. I'm Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight we're talking about, are you in business, are you hustling? Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, also the Facebook. Follow us on IG at Deonte_77. Make sure I'm changing these the scrolling banners on everything. I'm trying to make sure I got everything. People get an opportunity to see the different social media platforms that we have on it. But again, we're talking about, are you in business or are you hustling? And what I just want to talk about now is just having straight documentation. A lot of times people, they actually, well, the thing that I notice people do first is they actually go get an LLC. They go get their LLC. No problem. Thank you. They'll get the LLC. They might get a business license and they'll get a website. Okay, so they got the LLC set up and they got a website. And they post it on social media, share with everybody, and they expect this whoosh to happen. And it doesn't happen. Why? Because they actually probably got a good service. They got a good product. But what they don't realize is that their inner circle is just not interested in it. Now, the shirts look nice. They look nice. The cakes are delicious. But again, their inner circle just don't want it. Those 2,000 friends on Facebook that they have, only 20 or 30 of them are interested in it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, a business owner is going to look at it one way. A hustler, somebody that feels might look at it another way. I can't get support. People not really, they're not feeling me. They're not, choosing to do this, that, and that. A business owner look at it like, look, let me figure out who wants, what's going on. I see my son, PJ chiming in. What's going on? Matter of fact, both of my sons, two of my sons, rather. Chris and PJ. Hey, guys, how y'all doing? Appreciate you tuning in. The business owner is looking like, look, I'm not seeing the people that I really want. I'm not getting any kind of traction. I'm not getting people acquiring or looking for my particular business. What do I need to do? So you got out of your feelings and saying that, look, my friends and family, they love me, because support to me is a great word, right? Support is not necessarily people paying for my product or paying for my service. Support can be like, man, I'm proud of you. Give you some love. You go, boy, you go, girl. People talking about you, man, my brother started a business up in there. Support does not have to mean they're giving you cash, right? It's not even always directed that they're doing actual share for you. Just the whole point that, that they're proud of you, that might be the most you get. You're a business owner, you ain't concerned with that. Your focus is who wants my service. If it's somebody that wants my service, I don't care if they're in Bangladesh, I got to get it out there. Okay? My service may be more needed in Canada, in Australia. I need to find a way to get it to those people, because the people around me, they're not interested in it. And once you realize that this world is flat, because we have something called the internet, and we can actually push it to people a whole lot cheaper than ever before, that's when you're going to start seeing some money coming in. But when you're focusing on what you don't have, and when you're focusing on what people aren't doing for you, that's when you kind of get off track in your particular growth. So you have to understand that you got to be focused more on, what the people that want your product or who needs your product, what they're looking for. Okay? Once you get out of that and just focus on your particular market, that niche. Because remember, it's not about, having, a certain kind of t-shirt or a certain kind of shoes. You always look at it, if, I always say work backwards from the goal. The person that will wear your shirt, who is it? Is it the married mother of 3 that's a soccer mom or whatever? She's a housewife. She's the kind of person that will actually want to wear my slippers that I'm selling or wear my particular bathrobe. Is it the single guy that, that just maybe go out to the clubs and stuff, that kind of guy that likes the kind of cigar that I'm selling? You look at that person, you need to get it to him. Your buddy doesn't smoke. Why are you trying to sell him a cigar? Why would you be trying to do that? So again, we have to understand that we got to work back from the goal. That's why I say it, like just having the certain things in place to make sure that you can do those things to make sure you get it accomplished. The last thing I want to kind of go over is just when we start talking, and I kind of mentioned it earlier in the show, again, get some kind of extra coaching or feedback or some kind of person that can kind of give you good construction criticism. It can be a person, it can be a group, any kind of support that you can get with somebody that's telling you that, because far too often we get in these situations where we take criticism and take honesty and look at it as hate. And it's not that. It's that they're giving you honesty, they're giving you love, they're telling you what it is. We can argue opinions. We can argue how you feel. Same thing with me. But we cannot argue results. We can't. A fact is a fact. Okay? This hat is black. Okay? This is gray. Okay? We can't get into all those things where I think, I feel, I believe. No. Right? We have to look at the facts. And when a person tells you something, especially a person with experience, because we can get caught in those situations where I want to hear from this person because they tell me what I want to hear. My mother's my mother will always feel like I'm just the greatest. She's always going to feel like her son got it going on. He did this, he did that. There's nothing wrong he can't do. He is a businessman, right? I know that. I'm not going to get the tough constructive criticism from my mother that I need if I want to go next level. It's not. Now I'm going to get a lot of support from down, feeling back. I know where to go to. But if I need somebody telling me, hey man, you need to invest in this, you need to do this, you need to stop doing this, I'm not gonna get that from my mother. So why am I gonna go to her for that if I know I need that? And that's what we got to get out of. We got to get out of trying to deal with people that's going to tell us what we want to hear instead of dealing with the people that's going to tell us what we need to hear. And that's a lot of times folks don't want to get into that because it's painful. The truth is painful. Because if anybody know you made a mistake, you know. And you really don't want anybody reminding you. But how can you grow if you don't address your mistakes? I've been a football coach 20 years. And one of the first things I tell the kids when they make a mistake or something in the game, kid comes to the sideline, well, coach, and I always tell them first thing, you have to admit your mistake. Well, he did this and you listen, admit your mistake, because once you admit your mistake, we can fix it. If you're never going to take ownership and you're never going to admit your mistake, we can't fix it. Because the reason why you might have made that mistake, you seen something that you didn't see, you thought about something, you forgot, whatever the reason is, right? But we cannot address it or fix it until we acknowledge the mistake. And that's what we always got to do. We got to put ourselves in a situation where we're going to be uncomfortable, where we're going to get that, tough love to say, hey, man, you got to do this, you got to do that. I've been in plenty of, and I did videos about this, having mastermind groups, so paying for coaching, paying for mastermind groups. Check out those videos where we talked about those in regards to that. Look, man, you got to have some tough skin. I'd rather somebody tell me that I'm screwed up or I did certain things to help me get it fixed, as opposed to nobody saying nothing to me. I failed, and then you're around somebody a year or two later after the failure, you're like, man, yeah, I did notice you were doing this. Or, hey, man, yeah, I started to say something, but I didn't really want to. Hell no. Now, I need folks to be straight up with me. I really need that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me when you see it. I don't need any yes men. I don't need any yes women. I need honesty. And as a business owner, you need that too. You need that too. You need people going to tell you that. Now, you don't want nobody that's going to be, you post something on social media, they putting a post on there saying, why are you charging that? No, that's not support. That's something different. But, you know those people that you're going to get good criticism, and they're not necessarily going to tell you what you want to hear, but they're going to tell you the proper way. They put you to the side, say, hey, young lady, you may want to try it this way because you're pushing to something that is not right. You may want to change this or change that. Your prices, why are you charging? They ask you in a proper way we can address it. And then you may have a legitimate reason why. And they're like, okay, I understand. Or they may say, well, listen, I don't think that's the best way of doing it. Okay, because you do have a lot of people out here, when you're doing certain things, they might not even be trying to hate on you. They just don't even understand how to, interact with people, just to actually how to give criticism. So they'll make a post on your post and it looks bad. And you're like, why would you do that? But they just don't even think like that. But I think most people know how to get in the position where they can get good criticism and get good feedback to help them go to the next level. And I hope the show tonight helped you guys in regards to that. Now listen, I've had a couple people chime in regards to just want to inquire about consulting or coaching and everything. Again, all the links for the company website, social media platforms, booking an appointment. We have the free 10-minute sessions, and then from there you can book from the 30-minute or hour session. You feel free. You got the phone number there. Keep in mind, again, I have a free 10-minute session. You cannot book a free 10-minute session with an hour-long question. Okay, just be straight up with you with that. Okay, we go above and beyond, help you guys make sure you go to the next level. I have a deep passion for entrepreneurs and helping entrepreneurs grow and go to the next level, because I'm in the position I am now because a lot of people helped me. Okay, again, this is the Dollar Hour, hosted by your truly Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight's show we talked about, are you in business or are you hustling? I want to make sure you guys, I want to thank you guys first for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. Mr. Short Dollar has been growing like crazy. Over 200 videos in regards to all the personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, real estate investing. Got a lot of information coming out, especially what I was just talking about earlier about the SBA grants, the different loans, the different products that we got already. Our videos we already got out, and some coming out soon and stuff. Got videos coming out about for veterans, ex-felons. We have one that's out in regards to female entrepreneurs. A lot of information coming out for you guys. So make sure you're taking advantage and make sure you're sharing it and leaving comments on it. You like it, you don't like it, what you feel about it, any kind of interaction. I want you guys to make sure you list it, because that helps the channel grow, because Facebook notices the activity that the channel gets, the more kind of interaction we get. So like I say, like it, dislike it, comment, whatever, just do that for me, okay? I appreciate you guys, love you guys, and like I said, I look forward to talking to you guys. You know, with the show comes on every week, so next week we'll be on my other talk show, Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Well, you know, we talk about relationships, family, parenting, and everything. So we're gonna have a great show with that next week. But then, you know, on the next, today is the 21st, so I think that's February 1st or 2nd. We have the dollar hour will be back. But again, you know, check out Changing Lives next week and everything. But look forward to giving you guys some great information. But you know, even between the shows, we're going to have I put out at least 4 or 5 videos each week. So please take advantage of all the great information we got. Thanks again for tuning in. Love you guys, and take care.